My wife and I agreed to switch roles for a year. She wants to switch back early. Me 37M, and my wife 39M, met about 10 years ago and got married 8 years ago. We also have a 7-year-old daughter. While we were dating, she told me that she wanted to be a stay-at-home wife after getting married, to which I agreed. I make more than enough money to provide for a family, and my own mother was a stay-at-home mom. Forward back to 6 months ago, when one night she told me that she was sick of being a housewife and that she wanted to start working and split the house chores more evenly. Before June, I was only taking care of cooking during weekends. I absolutely love cooking and would even do it on weekdays if I had the time for it, doing light house repairs, mowing the lawn and taking out the trash. My wife was taking care of cooking, cleaning the house, grocery shopping, washing the dishes, washing the clothes, bringing our daughter to school and helping her with her homework. In my company, after 10 years of service, we are entitled to a unpaid sabbatical year. We are allowed to do it only once in our entire career, so while I originally planned to keep it for a potential emergency, I told my wife that I could take on 100% of the housework while she worked, and that after that year, we would decide if she wanted to continue working and split tasks evenly, just do a part-time, or go back to being a housewife. She was very happy with it and started looking for a job while I started the procedure to get my sabbatical year at my company. And #X200B. In August, she landed a job, so we started our new life, and well, for me it's been a blast since day one. My 13 hours long working days went down to about 4 to 5 hours, giving me the time to play the video games I stopped playing midway because of a lack of time. I started doing gardening, brewing beer and making cheese and charcuterie in my cave. My wife has her dressing room, tea salon, and I have my man cave, doing heavier repairs on the house, working out, and recently I started working on a chicken coop in the garden to get fresh eggs every day. I bring our daughter to school every day and pick her up after school, after which we play Minecraft or watch anime together before doing her homework while I cook dinner. I still do some unpaid work for my company when they are really in a pinch and need me to solve problems that they can't figure out, and keep in touch with my colleagues. And #X200B. On my wife's side, things are not that great. The first month she was happy to have more freedom, her own money to spend, warm meal ready when she comes back, and feet massages before bed, but now she seems more and more unhappy with her new situation, and last week she asked me to go back to work so she could go back to being a housewife. And #X200B. So what would be the best way to handle the situation, knowing that, if I go back to work, my sabbatical year will be officially used up? There's 8 months left, but I won't be able to use them later. The sabbatical year is a once-in-lifetime opportunity. In 8 months, I will have to go back to work no matter what. My wife will have the choice to keep working or not. Well, I guess she won't, but she has the choice nonetheless, but I won't have that luxury. I already know that I'm being selfish by not wanting to switch back. If I didn't enjoy my life as a house husband, I'd gladly have switched back already. It's only for a year, so I want to milk as much fun as I can out of it. I like my work a lot, which is why I still do some work for them for free during my sabbatical year. It's just that on a fun scale, going to work is a 7/10 and being a house husband is easily a 12/10. Just being able to cook every day makes the experience enjoyable. My wife doesn't seem depressed, or she hides it well, but she complains a lot about the commute, about customers, and overall much longer working hours than she had when she was working as a housewife. She may not like going back to her work as a housewife. Unlike me, she didn't have many activities to do at home, which may explain why she didn't enjoy it. She doesn't play video games. I can't imagine her brewing beer, making cheese, or doing gardening. It may only have been a COVID-related thing. As I mentioned earlier, she has a dressing room, tea salon, in which she used to spend time with her friends, but due to the stay-at-home campaign, there was no hard lockdown in my country. She hasn't been able to see them much for a while. And #X200B. There's basically 3 solutions I can think of. 1. I suck it up and go back to work. My gardening and man cave can wait until I retire in 30 years. 2. She sucks it up. She wanted a job and split house chores. She got a better deal by only needing to go to work. Besides, it's only for a year. 3. I split the remaining 8 months in half, so she only has to work 4 more months and I get 4 more months housework. Number 2. She was the one that wanted the change. She was the one that caused you to use your 1 year. She needs to suck it up and realize that her decisions have consequences. Just because the grass isn't greener on the other side doesn't mean that you suddenly, once again, have to drop your entire life to cater to her unreasonable needs. She asked you to give up your career for a year. That's a huge ask. You did it. Now she found out that working isn't so much fun, and now wants to drop that on you. No. Totally unfair. Number 2, and she could look for a different job that makes her happy, right? And maybe when she's a housewife again, you could help explore new hobbies so she can find enjoyment too. Honestly, if the roles were reversed and she had to take her once-in-a-lifetime sabbatical and you saw her enjoying this newfound time and experience, would you not just suck it up and continue to get through the original terms to which you were the one to ask for? I get she's unhappy with her employment, but there are ways to try to make that better and get through the next 8 mallions. She's also not needed to stay at the same job as she. There are other options out there. It's super unfair for her to suddenly change the terms like this, while knowing it is a huge sacrifice for you to give up this once-in-a-lifetime chance with your work. Don't switch back before the year. You both made an agreement. It takes a year to get to know anything, and it was going to be a huge adjustment for both of you no matter what. She might be struggling now, but she may decide she actually likes it more in 6 months. This has been such a short time, nothing can get figured out. It takes a year to get to know anything, a new city, a relationship, etc. She agreed to this and you should hold her to it. You can choose to change your mind down the line later if you personally decide to, or see that she is really miserable. But it's literally only been 5 months. No, it doesn't work like that. This is one of those occasions that you have to be the bad guy, for the sake of your family and your relationship. She wants to stay at home. She stays at home. She wants to work. She works. You had an agreement. Work sucks. She forgot how much. She has to suck it up for a year. She doesn't get to have her own way all the time. That's life. If you give in to her whims, then 1. You will resent her forever. 2. You will lose respect for her. 3. She will lose respect for herself. And 4. She will lose respect for you. No one respects a doormat. Sometimes you have to say no. It sounds like your wife saw how happy you were at work so wanted to give it a go. Now she sees how happy you are at home, wants that life. The issue isn't you or the housework or the job necessarily, but your wife not knowing how to be happy and to some degree possibly being jealous that you are one of those people who can find happiness in any situation. Maybe sit down together and discuss what she actually wants from life. What does she want to achieve? What will make her happy? And if she says being a housewife, point out that didn't work before. I would go for option 2, because you shouldn't lose this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But maybe you can spend those next 8 months helping her figure out what she really wants. It's clear as day that number 2 is the right answer to go with. She brought this upon herself, aka she reaps what she sows. 8 months is nothing, it'll be gone in a flash. You deserve the break after working 13-hour days continuously to provide for your family. Now while I say all of this, I'm sure you're going to cave. I bet at one point your wife will give you an ultimatum which essentially forces you to forego the rest of your sabbatical. Just put your foot down and tell her she wanted this. Don't let her boss you around. I think she should suck it up. She made you use up your year, so use up your year. She made the deal to switch for a year, so ride the year out. Honestly, it seems a little selfish of her to have you use your 1 year off and then wanting to make you waste it. She was the one that wanted the change. She can tough it out for another 8 months. Once the year is over, she will have a new appreciation for your lifestyle, even if she chooses to work part-time or whatever once you are back to work. Don't give up your once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because your wife is whining. Sorry sis, you wanted to be the working parent. 1 year is not that bad even if she hates her job. She can always switch jobs too for the last 6 months if she wanted. This was her deal and you seem to be having fun at home. It would be selfish to take that away when you know you'd be going back in 8 months anyways while she has a choice at the end. I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. Does your wife, by chance, have asthma and wear a black helmet? I honestly see all 3 solutions leading to disaster and can't think of any solution, but that's just me. If cold hard logic worked in this situation, number 2 would be the obvious choice, but something tells me that won't fly. I don't know if I believe this, but I would not return until my 8 months are up. Obviously option 2, she should suck it up. Like you said, it's a once-in-a-lifetime option for you. She should let you make the most of it. She can always look for a different job during this time to see if that works better for her. It sounds like your wife isn't good at working or being a housewife. What is she good at? Until she finds that she won't be happy. It's not fair that you have to end your sabbatical early. She needs to suck it up. This really pisses me off since she readily allowed you to sacrifice while she pursued her. Fool's errand, the deal was for a friggin' year. Number 2, in short. You made a sacrifice on the premise that it would last that long. That she doesn't enjoy the working life as much as she might have wanted as something useful for when the year ends. She does sound unhappy, maybe not depressed. That's for someone in that field to decide. Maybe she can try dipping her toes in some hobbies or goals to work towards. She should suck it up. It's what she wanted. I would say give it more time. Keep things going a bit longer and reassess in another month or so. For you, I would stop working for your company if they aren't paying you. They give a year sabbatical without pay. What do you get out of it? What a weird society we live in. I just wanted to say thanks, Op. You sound like a great husband. It's refreshing to read this post from your perspective given everything else we see in this sub. You shouldn't give up your sabbatical because it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Your wife can suck it up for a few more months at least. And maybe you two can plan to spend a few of the months of your time off together, either working on projects or traveling, pandemic permitting. She's frustrated and that's understandable, but she's also an adult who should have thought this through. You definitely shouldn't give up 8 months of time off and of time with your daughter. Do not switch back. Your wife is seeing how easy you're making it by staying home, and now that she actually has to do work, she wants your life now. You both made to agreement, on her request, to switch for a year, so switch for a year. She had all this time to do fun stuff like you are now, but she never did. She wanted a change, she got and is going to continue to get it. Number 2. You had an agreement. You accommodated your wife's wishes. This is also an opportunity for you to spend precious time with your daughter which you haven't previously had. Number 2. She wanted it. Maybe there will be greater appreciation of you after. You should enjoy your time at home. Your wife was the one who wanted to switch, and I think she can put in some effort and let you enjoy this opportunity, since it won't happen again. You have one life, one chance to be at home for a year, live it to the fullest. I have 2 children and I would have taken the 2 maternity leaves if I'd could instead of my ex, who was always complaining that it's not easy to be at home. Being at home isn't always easy, working isn't, hell living isn't, doesn't mean you need to sulk about it every day. You see the positive side of things, enjoy it while it lasts, and don't be afraid to change your workload after that year is over if you feel the need to. Good luck to you and your family. No. No 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 no. No. She agreed to this and it hasn't even been a full 2 quarters. Tell her this is for her so she can appreciate it when she gets back. This is unfair to you and only you, and she gets everything she wants. Just fucking no. Wait. You mean those people who act like being a housewife is somehow harder than actually working are wrong? I'm so surprised. Well, she wanted to work. Let her work. She can't coo out now. Just say girl power. Enjoy house husband. Your job sounds like it comes with a lot of great perks and respect, while it sounds like she has a shitty retail job and low pay. These are not the same thing, and she isn't going to like her craptastic job like you loved your career. She probably needs to look for a different job. And she did all of the hard parenting while your kid was little, and now your responsibility is to taxi the child to school. So she has gotten the harder stay-at-home job and now the crappy work job, and you have had the advantage of both being good. Kinda sucks for her. And now you got her out there working during COVID. My advice: equality. Be a good he for she ally. That means she has to work her ass off for the next 10 years. And you are entitled to complain all day long how oppressed you are. But the truth is, typical women always thinking you have it great and want what you have because it seems so cool, and when she gets it she is still unhappy. Realize your wife the problem is in her head, it is not about being at home or at work. Would she be happier doing a different job? What field has she gone into? As a husband who provides everything, wish she'd split bills, takes children to school, cooks the meals, manage groceries and kitchen, provides enrichment, gets them ready for bed. Does his own laundry, and does all the manly work chores, too. Please stick to the deal. Drive home the point that being the breadwinner isn't as glamorous as it seems, and being the homemaker can be very rewarding. I can't believe she has the nerve to ask you to give up your year. She knows you will lose it if you give it up early. That is so selfish, I would be super pissed. I am getting a 1-month sabbatical next year, and if anyone tried to tell me I could only take 1 week, I would lose my shit. Do whatever you can to get her to see reason. I mean, she only has to work 8 more months and then you're back to being the sole earner for the rest of her life. If she can't give you that, she is not a great wife. I don't think you're being selfish. You need to make the most of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity sabbatical year. She needs to stick to the agreement. I'd focus on the fact it sounds like you're getting some really good father and daughter time, then you won't ever be free enough to have any other time. If economically viable, maybe suggest she finds a different job, but I think you deserve to spend the whole year off. You're not being selfish. You compromised for something she wants, and she hasn't even worked long enough to know whether she enjoys it. 4 months in is the shitty part in all jobs. Lol. Tell her that you're not a servant she can order to work or not work as she likes, and that you are going to finish out your very important and deserved sabbatical year. Don't give up those 8 months, man. Use up your year and have a great time. You're getting paid anyway, right? Don't throw that away. Switch back after a year. Thumbs up. Your wife needs a hobby. What did she do all day before? Did she clean the house, make meals, and then just sit there until someone came home? Depression can take many forms. Just because someone isn't outwardly sad doesn't mean they aren't depressed. I would certainly be depressed if I had nothing to do but housework. Also, you have 1 kid. THST is 7. There doesn't need to be someone at home 24/7. When you do switch back, I think your wife should get a part-time job. Just a few hours a day, a few times a week. Just something that gets her out of the house. Something that makes her feel accomplished besides the same old housework. I know I go crazy when I don't work, even though I hate working. It's the routine, and the leaving the house that help keep every day from being the same. Did you ask your wife why she wants to switch back? In detail. I would not do it unless it's an actual reason. If it's I don't like working or staying at home is easier. Remind her that you willingly gave her what she wanted. She can't switch back now for no reason. Not going to lie, it seems rather selfish to ask so early in. She is seeing how you're flourishing in your free time, and instead of trying to keep up her part she asks you to just go back. I would feel guilty. Don't just waste your sabbatical year. You have 8 months left. She made her own bed and has to lie in it. What if she changes her mind again? You could either 1. Stick to original agreement of 1 year, 2. Both stay at home. I can't help you with the short-term decision, but long-term maybe you both need to look at part-time work because you seem to love being at home more, and that's absolutely something you should enjoy while you can. I won't give advice, because all of the great advice has already been written, but I will say that I am happy to see that I'm not alone in this situation and support you all the way. I was only a house dad for 5 months and loved it. The kids loved it, but my wife got so jealous of the time I was spending with the kids, she just quit forcing me to go back to work. For me, taking care of the kids and home is the most gratifying job there is. I will bet she complains when her ice cream is too cold. She need to suck it up. She committed when you lit the fuse on your one-time sabbatical. You could continue the sabbatical year and begin working more on a side hustle, for lack of a better word, that can generate money for your family. Take a month to develop the concept and see if it will make you money. If it makes money, then you can have your wife reduce the time she will work. Teach her how to run the side hustle, and you go back to work. She has a new hobby that makes money, and you get the sabbatical year. Go with option number 2. She needs to learn she can't have her cake and eat it too. She made a commitment, she needs to follow through. She needs to act like an adult instead of an immature little girl. First commitment she backed out on was that of being a housewife. She said she wanted it, when she got it she backed out. Second commitment she made and is trying to back out on is the job switcheroo. Again, she wanted it, got it, and is trying to back out. She needs to grow some depth of character here and actually follow through on her commitments. What's next? The marriage. Is she gonna back out of that commitment too when it's no longer as fun as she imagined? What kind of job did she get? It sounds to me like her crappy job is a big part of this. If she could find something she likes doing more, and maybe something with flexibility for part-time or WFH in 8 months, that would solve a lot of your issues. This bitch is spoiled and lazy. Drop her ass and find a woman who realizes what a prize you are. Number 2. You earned your sabbatical. It sounds like you are enjoying it and don't want to give it up. She needs to be responsible for her own decisions. She's using you as a fallback and it's up to you to say if you're okay with that or not.